Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is PD Proudlock, so I am back with another season review, and look who I'm joined by.
How's it going, lad?
Hi, it's going great, man. Yes, I am joined by Sharkey at 100% NUFC on YouTube. It's been a long time. You were last on the channel at the Burnley game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a midweek game about 3 months ago, I think it was.
Well, and it's good to see him back again. So I'll get his thoughts on how he thinks this season has gone. So we're finished 13th this season. How do you think this season has gone?
It's what you expected as a Newcastle fan. Last season, we finished 10th. This season, we finished 13th. The difference was we finished a point better off, with 10th being 44 points this season, 45. You'd think we should be finishing higher than 10th with that point difference. But to be honest with you, it just goes to show the strength and depth of teams above us, such as Wolves, Watford, Everton, Leicester. They're all spending money, and we are also just playing catch up. You've got to remember, when we finish 10th, as fans, we want to see a bit more ambition at the football club. But with Mike Ashley in charge, it's always spend as little as possible. And if a player becomes good, such as Perez this season, scoring double figures, he's going to go for a big price tag. And Mike Ashley is going to sell him. And then he's going to go back to do what he always does and buy players on the cheap. And there's no such thing as progression. It's all about stay in the Premier League, middle of the table, get the Premier League money, and that's it. And then the season goes on again.
Yeah, I think it has been like first off the season, it was looking very doom and gloom, particularly when we didn't pick our first win till about November against Watford, and it looked very worrying from that point. It was one of the worst starts to a season, and a lot of fans were concerned we could have been relegated at the end of the season.
Yes, we got off to a very slow start. I mean, we were playing 5 of the top 6, don't forget. But then if you look at it throughout the whole season, despite Man City and Liverpool going neck and neck for the Premier League title, the other 4 have been very shocking this season. They've been very poor, and if you look at it, you think we should have got points. And to be fair, the 5 of the top 6 teams that were actually played didn't lose by a big margin. It was only by the odd goal, and sometimes the referees were going against it. I remember in the Chelsea game, the referee had a bit of a stinker. We could have got a result there. Cardiff was a bit of a downer as well, away from home, a promoted team. We should have got something. Of course, Kennedy missed the penalty, but I don't want to just blame the penalty miss on Kennedy, because I think the team itself, we weren't brilliant, on the day. We weren't taking the game to Cardiff maybe until the second half. And then, the Brighton game, for me, that summed it up, the start of the season. You're at home, Brighton, I think they were in the top 10 at the time, I could be wrong. We lose 1-0, and we're bottom of the league, and you think to yourself, there's no hope. There's no plan B from Rafa Benitez, the squad's all over the place. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of fans say this, that they definitely would have taken going to the safe mark, consider we started how the season started particularly.
Yes, it's been a season of what ifs. Like I say, if we'd only won some games at the start of the season, obviously I know you're going to talk about the second half of the season, but if we'd won those games, against maybe one of the top 6 sides, beating Cardiff, beating Brighton, then we could have been in for a chance, of finishing comfortable top 10, possibly 7th place. But it's Newcastle, isn't it? We don't do anything easy, and it's not a Newcastle season without ups and downs.
Yeah, what's been your highlight of the season so far, the best part of this season?
The second half of the season has to be. My highlight of the season would have to be the Man City game, the confidence in which we came back from 1-0 down, we conceded, I think it was something 24 seconds, and I didn't give Newcastle any hope of getting anything out of that game. City, of course, going for the title, they went on to win it, and they've got a good squad, but seeing the likes of Sean Longstaff, one of our own, turn the game around in that second half to win it 2-1, that gave us the confidence to go on and to pick up the points that we needed, going in to the second part of the season. It was only the start of or the end of January, I can't remember when it was, and then we went on to buy Almiron in the January market.
Come to think about, what did you make of Almiron since he came to the club, even though he didn't score goals? But do you think he has got us that bit of extra quality into the squad?
I agree, because going forward in the first half of the season, we were struggling to create. There was nothing really going forward. There was no final third finish. Almiron, he's a young lad from the MLS. Nobody really knew who he was, but you've got to give the chance on the lad. And £21 million, it was a club record buy, and it was always going to be a big ask, a big risk to take, and it was a good risk to take, because what I like about him is he's got pace, he's got strength, and he gets the ball. He takes it from one end of the pitch to the other, and he gets Newcastle going. And you've seen Perez and Rondon score the goals. Okay, of course, Almiron didn't score the goals, this season, but you got to remember he's new to the Premier League, and next season he's only going to get better and better. In each game, he was getting more and more confident. And like I say, what I liked about Almiron was he's assisting as well, and we needed that. We just need someone who can just do the dirty work and just be a menace on the pitch, and that's what he did. And of course, it was a shame, that he got injured against Southampton, but he's going to be a good player for us next season.
Do you think we should look into playing more of an attacking central role, considering he has been playing on the left?
You could do, because we could potentially be losing a couple of key midfielders such as Diarme. He might end up going out on loan. There could be a few movements, in the Newcastle squad this summer, so he might actually get his chance, to sort of put himself in that central position, to try and create opportunities. He's got what it takes, to score the goals, and I think once he gets his first goal, he'll kick on and he'll be a really good player for Newcastle, and the fans are taking to him already. Imagine what he would be like, if he scores double figures.
What do you think Newcastle's like? Sometimes they've been criticised for playing 4-2 defensively, playing this wing-back system. But somehow it has worked and we have grinded out results playing this formation. What do you think of that?
I totally agree with the Newcastle fans that do say that. I mean, I am one of them that does criticise, that we are too defensive. I'd like to see it be a little bit more expansive. Let's get the ball down and let's play. We've seen a bit of that in the second half of the season. I want Wood to score more goals, and I want him to also be able to shut up shop and not make silly mistakes that we have made this season, because I've heard there's a stat where Newcastle have conceded the most in terms of set pieces, headed goals, and you've seen that in the Liverpool game, and just some of the goals that were conceded, they could be dealt with, the simple man marking. I can see why Rafa does that. He's done that at all the clubs that he's been at, Liverpool, Real Madrid, but Newcastle, we like to see attack and play, and I'd love to see that next season. Of course, if Rafa stays or not, that's another matter. But in this famous ground, why can't we see more goals? Why can't we see a team that, I'm proud of the team from the season just gone, but why can't we be a bit more adventurous?
What do you think of Rondon getting player of the season? I think he's definitely been one of the players that deserved it. Another player I think has been great is Fabian Schär. What do you make of Rondon getting player of the season for?
I totally agree. He's come on loan from West Brom. Last season his confidence would have been on the ground. You've got to remember he got relegated and he was playing in a squad that wasn't so good in terms of quality, and then he comes into a Newcastle squad which, let's be fair, our squad doesn't have a lot of quality. It's not brilliant, but he was given the number 9 shirt. He could have crumbled. He didn't. He took it with ease, and he fought for the shirt and he gave it absolutely everything. He scored double figures just like Perez, and I have to say he's had a good second half of the season. I wasn't too convinced at the start of the season, but he got better and better, and you could probably say Almiron, Perez, the confidence of all the players, they went up a notch in that second half of the season, and I just hope now that we can, or Mike Ashley will pull his fingers out his arse and get him with the door, because like I say, he's a finisher and that's what we need.
Aye, absolutely. A lot of people were doubtful for him at first, but I think not just his goals, I think his work rate has been fantastic as well. He's a player that he wants to take defenders on and really test them out.
Well, that's it. I mean, as Newcastle fans, we care about those who take the shirt with pride and play with pride and give it absolutely everything on the pitch and don't leave anything unturned and having a go. You will be remembered, if you take the club seriously and you play with 100% confidence and you give it 100% attitude, and he will be remembered. If he was to go, and if he is to go, then I wish him all the very best. And he's not left anything sour. He's good, and he said all the right things, and we just hope that he stays.
Okay, for the final 2 questions, just talking on Rondon, will we get him permanently?
Yes. Yes, I will. I think 16 million, but it might go down to the wire.
I think we've got a very good chance, because despite West Brom have lost out in the playoffs and they'll be staying in the Championship next season. And the final question, will Rafa Benitez sign a new contract?
Rafa, we want you to stay, please. For me, for PD Proudlock, for all the Newcastle fans, please stay at Newcastle United, because we need you. You're building something, and you know what? You're steadily getting us to that level where we need to be at with a bit of investment. Mike Ashley, if you're listening, get that checkbook out, get Rafa Benitez, get the players in that Rafa wants, and I'll tell you what, we will get top 7 next season, and you certainly won't regret it, because if you don't, we could be getting relegated. Okay, there we go.
Well then, there you go. Thanks very much, Sharkey. That was brilliant, my man. Feel free to check his channel out as well at 100% NUFC. I'll drop a link in the description. So give me a like, comment, as I've said. And if you're also new and haven't checked me out, please make sure you do hit the subscribe button. not far away to get to 400 subscribers now, and I shall see you all later. Have a great week.
And get him to 400 subs, okay?